G'day everyone and welcome to the Law and Order podcast, a show about why games matter and how they shape our lives. I'm James Padley and as always, I'm joined with my co-host Amrith Eldridge. Amrith, how are we doing today?
James, fantastic to be here. It's good to be on the couch today.
Always a pleasure to have you on the couch, my friend.
Thank you.
In fact, that's one of the things that we're going to be talking about today, couch co-op games, why couch games are still so important in an age of online gaming, and what it is about them that we love so much.
Yeah, we're not talking about why we like couches?
No.
Oh.
That's a different kind of podcast, I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have a particular couch that you prefer to game on?
I mean, I like this one.
Yeah, it's a pretty good one. I don't mind the couch at your house as well. Maybe it's not so much about the couches, it's about the friends we made along the way.
And the couches we meet along the way.
That too. That too.
But yes, couch gaming. Couch gaming. Very, very excited. What is couch gaming? If I say couch gaming to you, what is it?
So to me, couch gaming or couch co-op gaming is playing a video game together with a friend that is physically in the same room as you.
Yep.
So a lot of games now, you have the ability to play online, which is amazing in and of itself. That's something that I would not have even dreamed of as a kid.
Yeah, right.
But it is essentially sitting next to a mate. You've either player one, player two, or however many people are with you, or you're passing a controller backwards and forwards.
Yeah.
But that to me is the definition of couch gaming.
Yeah. For me, it's one of the best things in the world. I think I regularly say the two greatest things in the world for me are getting out in a mountain and hiking somewhere and just sitting with a friend, spending time playing a game in the same space. And what I'm really excited for this episode is as we unpeel this onion of couch gaming friendship, we'll begin to see, well, why is it just one of the greatest things in the world for us and why we hope it is or can continue to be or could be even more of a great thing for you.
Yeah. Well, I guess first and foremost then, how did games and socializing or couch co-op gaming first intersect for you as a kid?
Yeah, very, very early doors, I think. Maybe not as young as some people are now in terms of when they start, but PlayStation 1, I reckon, would have been 6 or 7. Got it for Christmas, and it was my brother and I just playing some of those early games together. These are bare bones games, like it's fantastic games like, Spyro, fantastic one. Sitting there, single player game, Ayrton plays for a bit, I play for a bit, I fall off a cliff, switch the controller when I die. Ayrton plays for half an hour.
Classic set of rules there. As soon as you die, you pass the controller over, which, as you were just about to get into, is not always the fairest way to play.
Can I keep playing? But you died. Yeah, I did. And I agreed to these rules. But anyway, still so good. Just loved them. So much fun just exploring that lands together. Games you're playing against each other or with each other. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, Cool Borders 3, Shane Warne Cricket 99. We even played chess on the PlayStation. Yeah, we had a chessboard. We actually had 2 chessboards at home, but we still played chess on the PlayStation.
That's amazing.
That's how great couch games were, and how much we loved it. Those were the earliest ones, and then from there it progressed. A big one with the FIFA games, the soccer games. As I grew up, playing with friends. I remember having this hilarious moment when I actually reckon it was with you when we were looking up our gaming history because we were thinking, I wonder what game I have played the most and how many hours it was for. And I was thinking it's probably got to be like Skyrim or The Witcher 3 or one of those big open world games I've replayed a bunch of times. And I remember predicting, I was like, maybe 200 hours in Skyrim. And then I actually had a look and it was over 900 hours of FIFA 14. Now, FIFA 14, people who play FIFA are probably not going to say that's the greatest FIFA of all time. They're probably going to be like, yeah, I guess it was just another one of the FIFA games. But it was at a time when I'd be catching up with friends. I go to their house. They come to my house. We would sit for 8 to 10 hours at night and watch soccer, watch the European soccer. So from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m., usually on a Saturday or a Sunday night, have 2 hours and go to a law lecture at uni. And then FIFA would always be there in the background. Whenever there's a break, we would play. So just so much time playing together. So that was a huge one. Those are my earliest memories, and ones I still think very fondly of.
Yeah,
How
that's
about
amazing.
yourself?
And that's I remember us doing that going back. And it's unfortunate because you stayed with PlayStation from PS1 up till now.
Yeah, I did.
So you had that ability to go back, whereas I skipped the PS3 generation and went to Xbox 360 because at the time I felt that they had better exclusives like Mass Effect and stuff like that, Gears of War. And so, I didn't have the ability to go back and see how many hours that I'd spent. I mean, you probably can on Xbox, but I ditched it after the 360. But I think for me, very similar. I would have started off playing with my younger brother probably on like Donkey Kong Country 2 on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
But the problem with that was that an ambulance driving past.
I think we got so excited that our heart rate spiked so much that the heart rate data from my watch went straight to
them.
Yeah,
we'll just give them a wave.
Yeah.
Let them know that
it's
we're
all good.
okay.
We're just talking about games again. Oh, no worries. See you tomorrow.
You guys.
Yeah, see you tomorrow.
I think the problem for me with playing with my brother on the Super Nintendo was he was still really young. Like we were both really young, and he would play as Diddy and I would play as Donkey Kong, which would frustrate me because I like Diddy Kong as a character more. He was just like so much cooler and more fun to me. But also my brother didn't have the dexterity at the time to do all those platforming things.
Yeah.
So for me, my really formative couch co-op years came when we were both a little bit older.
Yeah.
And we were playing on the Nintendo 64 and PS1. Particularly the Nintendo 64 though, because you had games like Mario Kart, Diddy Kong Racing, which, controversial opinion, I think is better than Mario Kart on the Nintendo 64.
Diddy Kong, thank you. Someone else is saying what needs to be said. How good is
It's an
Diddy
incredible
Kong?
game.
Right?
It has an actual storyline.
Oh.
You had the ability to fly planes and hovercrafts as well. Wider selection of characters, really creative worlds, and a banging soundtrack.
Oh, so good.
Now, don't get me wrong. I love Mario Kart. I've played all of the Mario Karts. They're very dear to my heart. I'm wearing a T-shirt right now with Mario. And when you pull down the little pocket, he ducks under a little bullet bill. I love it. I love Mario. But Diddy Kong Racing is a superior kart racer on the Nintendo 64. Come at me.
And they will.
Yeah.
And they will.
Mario Party as well. All of those games were so formative because they were designed to be couch co-op multiplayer games.
Yeah.
And you had a control each and you would just go for it.
Yep.
Then stepping up into GameCube era, Simpsons Road Rage.
Oh, how good.
Which was like Crazy Taxi, but with the Simpsons skin slapped on it, which was really fun. And I don't think that was necessarily two-player. I think you could. Oh, no, I think you could, and you could compete against your friend. But I would often play it with a friend in like the kind of story mode, and we would just pass the controller back and forth.
So fun.
So it's really interesting because obviously a lot of games were designed to be couch co-op.
Yep.
But you would also do couch co-op playing single-player games as well.
Yeah.
Like a few episodes ago, we were talking about Banjo-Kazooie. I would pass that between me and my brother. Like, a lot of games like that. We did the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And then as I got older, I think that would kind of pass over into like us playing The Witcher 2, passing the controller Witcher 3. Even now, we still play co-op together.
Yeah.
Horizon Zero Dawn, we couch co-opt.
Did we ever?
Did we ever? And we also hit a point during COVID, that lockdown, where we were going to go for the platinum, and we ended up doing share play. One of the very incredible elements of online gaming, where I could pass the control over to you even though you weren't at my house.
So good. Got us through lockdown.
It really did.
Yeah.
Unbelievable addition.
COVID couldn't even stop our quest to complete Horizon.
Unreal.
So good. And that's really interesting. It's interesting to see how couch gaming for us has changed, and how it's kind of, it's maybe evolved a little bit in the sense that we have more games like your Horizon Zero Dawns, like your Witcher 3s, Ghost of Tsushima, Cyberpunk is what we're currently playing at the moment. These big, single player games, but we're still playing them as these couch co-op games.
Yeah, which is really, really interesting. And I think a large part of that is that our friendship initially was founded on a common interest in video games.
Yes.
And so we would hang out and we would boot up the PlayStation and we would start playing a game together. And whether that was based on, what have you been playing at the moment? I started playing this game, Horizon, whatever. And it's like, let's play it together. Whatever it was. I know for The Witcher, you were like, dude, you've never heard of The Witcher? Like, you got to play this game. And I remember initially being like, but it's a single player game. How is this going to work? And because other than Mario Party, Smash Brothers, Mario Kart, etc., I didn't play a lot of couch co-op games in high school as much.
Yeah.
I kind of fell off the co-op bandwagon a little bit. And it was when I got to uni and like met yourself and Jaden, who's one of our other very good mates. We started getting into the more single player couch co-op as well. Yeah.
So good. But also it's so cool that we still have some of those games, like your Diddy Kong races that we still play as well. Those games that it's almost as franchises they've lasted. Like your Mario Karts.
Yeah.
We still play Mario Kart.
Still
together.
pumping out new Mario Karts.
Even though we wish it was a remastered Diddy Kong.
Oh man, not just a remastered Diddy Kong. A sequel. Give me a sequel. Bring Rare back to make it. It would be unbelievable.
Yeah, this is the moment where we pivot the podcast to a Diddy Kong podcast.
Diddy Kong. We're now a Diddy Kong racing fan podcast.
Yeah, no one saw it coming, but
we did a soft launch on like other gaming topics just to hoodwink all of you.
Reel you in.
It's really all about Diddy Kong from this point on. So hope you're interested. Strap in.
Even a game like think franchises like Halo, right? I think this is a great one where I never owned an Xbox. I've been a Sony slave for my whole life, but I've played a lot of Halo. I remember in a standard lunchtime activity at school is we would go to the library, we would download Halo Trial, put it on the computer. There's only one campaign mission you can play with Halo Trial, the Silent Cartographer. Great mission from the first Halo game. And it was myself and a friend, we would both play. One person would be on the left with the keyboard with the WASD moving around, spacebar to jump. The other person would have the mouse to point, aim, click, and shoot. So much time doing that. Even now, a couple of weeks ago, caught up with 4 mates, and we just literally sitting there playing Halo together.
Yeah, unreal.
So yeah, love those kind of couch franchises that have still kept going. Like there's heaps more that we could talk about.
And it's one of the cool things as well, talking about how you didn't have Xbox. Yeah. So there was a whole cross section of games that you didn't have, but your friend would have an Xbox.
Oh yeah, I would go to their house. I was a merchant for it,
and that was it. Like I had a mate that had a Sega Mega Drive.
Yep.
And I would go and play as Tails and he would be Sonic.
Yep.
And again, this is obviously back in the early 90s, but I didn't have a Sega. So if I wanted to play Sonic, I would have to go to my friend's house.
Yep.
And they didn't have a Nintendo, so they would come and play at mine. And same thing applies with Xbox and PlayStation. You would have to go to a mate's place. And there was something magical about that as well, I think. But yeah, it's amazing the longevity that some of these franchises have had as a result.
Yeah, it's so good, and it's so nice to be talking about, these not just these brilliant memories, but also it's still such a pivotal part of our friendship. Like our regular catch up at the moment is we come over and we sit in the same place. We have a Cyberpunk playthrough that we're working our way through, and again, single player. One person is playing, James is playing. I'm sitting there. I'm watching. I'm kind of like rooting for him as he goes. I'm looking for advice. I'm maybe like looking up a game guide or something. We're still working together. And it's so cool to think that like something that started for us as kids, like a long, long time ago. And we're still here now doing the same thing, which I think is really, really cool. Especially when, a lot of the narrative with games that we have, I sort of think when I was growing up, I don't know what it was like for you, but I think my parents they got us a PS1, but there's almost like a little bit of regret in that because I think they're like, we don't want him being inside, playing games. Maybe that doesn't mean he's out socializing. But the flip side of it is games were an inherently social thing. It was, I'm playing with my brother or I'm going off to a friend's place to play Halo because I don't have an Xbox or I'm hanging out for lunchtime for when I can play a game in the library with a friend.
Rainy day, can't go out riding your bike.
Yeah.
Sit down, play a game.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's it's so nice to be sort of talking about that because I think there's still this element that like if you're playing a lot of games that, you know, maybe that means like you're a bit isolated or, you know, like if I was to say what is your, even someone like yourself, right, who's, you know, we're obviously pro game, we love games, but even if I was to say what do you think is still maybe the stereotypical image of a gamer? What do you think most people would say?
Yeah, the stereotypical of image of a gamer is like the fat lonely kid in his parents' basement.
Yeah,
like that. I immediately just think of the meme on South Park, the World of Warcraft episode, where he's like lying on a slight angle in his like not quite ergonomic chair, like sipping a giant Mountain Dew or 7-Up or something like that. Yeah, it's the socially awkward loner playing their games in a dark room by themselves, no social life, no social skills. That is the stereotypical image that media has portrayed.
Yes.
And it's just not true. I mean, there's a lot of stereotypes are based in truth, and there are some people that fit that stereotype.
Yeah.
But it is very few and far between.
Yes.
And there are so many more benefits that games deliver.
Yeah, 100%. And that's what we're here to say is that like there is so much beautiful socializing and so much like wonderful in-person stuff that you can have from playing games. So that, yeah, if you are spending a lot of time in your basement playing, okay, each to their own, but maybe invite a friend over to the basement.
That's it. Crack a curtain. Crack the window
just
open.
look, okay, just once, just open, just like 5 degrees of that blind.
Bit of airflow.
A little bit of airflow. maybe also sweep up the stale chip crumbs.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Get some fresh chips.
Oh, yeah.
Fresh chips.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think the social element is obviously such a huge part. But you're really keen in breaking down what's actually happening when we do this, because for us, we obviously love it. We're huge advocates. But there is a psychological or scientific element to what happens to our brain chemistry or what's happening in the room with us when we are playing these games together, right?
Yeah, it's awesome and it's incredible and like really excited to talk about this because one, I hope for us gamers out there, it really helps us appreciate just how good this couch gaming is. And you know how much benefit you can get out of it, but also too maybe help you appreciate how much have games actually given for me and how much have they done for me, because I think us obviously from a personal point of view, like I said at the start, as we unpeel, I'm going to really try and unfold just how much of our friendship probably not only is kind of built around the common interest of games, it probably owes a lot to games and that time we spent playing.
Interesting.
So, and what's so cool now is that there's a lot of research out there now about why playing games together is so positive, which is great. That there's like so much insight into this. So we'll post a bunch of links in the show notes if you're interested. There's lots of good articles, lots of good research. But for me, one of the most I think fascinating things about when you sit down and you actually play a game together, when you're in that same space. What begins to happen is we kind of almost experience a bit of a mind-body meld. And what I mean by that is when you're playing the same game together, you're in the same space, you begin to adopt the same facial expressions. You begin to adapt the same way. Our body language begins to shift towards something similar. Maybe we're sitting forward, maybe it's tense, maybe we're sitting back. We begin to experience similar emotions.
So kind of that psychological matching and mirroring. Like you always hear people talk about, if you look at a group of people in a social setting, you can often pick out who the leader is because 100%. they might cross their arms and then give it 10 seconds, someone else might cross their arms and people subconsciously and instinctively are doing the same thing. Yeah,
100%. Because that's, at the end of the day, that's what humans are. We're matching and mirroring machines in terms of us being social engines. We're trying to be like other people, because if we're similar to other people, that means we belong, we have more in common, we're more likely to sort of fit in, there's more likely to be cooperation. So we really look for that in day-to-day life, subconsciously and consciously. And when we're doing that in that game space, that is literally what is happening. We're getting on the exact same page, we're thinking the same way, we're reacting the same way. And that's such a cool thing, because when we are in that space, immediately, if I'm like you, I begin to like you because I'm like, this person's exactly like me, or we're very similar. I'm more likely to be kind to you. I'm more likely to think of how you're thinking. I'm more likely to do something nice for you. I'm more likely to work together and be cooperative. And I think that's just such a fantastic thing. And when we're sitting there together, we're playing a game, we're sort of following the exact same sort of method, the same rules. It's just such a wonderful kind of foundation, I think, for connection and friendship.
I love it. And I think as well, like when you have those moments where you are that connected, you're in that zone together, that's when you form those memories, like in jokes.
Yes.
Like this is what happens in society in general, but when you feel connected and you are on that same page as someone, you have those memories where you're creating in jokes, you're having moments, whether it's in a game where it's like, oh, that was so difficult, but we did it.
Yep.
And those kind of formative memories form. Like us, for example, I'm sure a little bit of alcohol had to be involved in this.
Maybe.
But like, I think it was Horizon, maybe the first time around.
Oh, yes.
And we were like, you've got to hunt certain animals to get upgrades to upgrade certain things.
Yep.
And there was just this goat that was running around, and I don't know who started it, but it was like, Gert, get the Gert. And then for some reason, a whole bunch of games that we played after that also had just wild goats.
Yeah.
I think Witcher 3 had a goat or some goats.
Yeah.
And now it's just a thing where it's like, Gert. Or if you see another animal, you would try and make it sound similar to Gert. And it's like anyone else, people listening to this right now is like, that's so dumb.
Yeah, you guys are insane.
Like, what? But everyone has their Gert.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they will have a moment similar to that where it was just like something so random and silly that you're like, that's it.
We would like to hear, what is your Gert?
What is your Gert?
Yeah, we would like to hear, comment, send us an email, anything, write to us. Tell us a beautiful story about, your Gert.
What is your Gert?
But yeah, as absurd as it is, it comes from this. I remember like that moment was when, I think you were playing, you had the control, and we're working together to complete this quest. We're trying to hunt down get the animal hides, upgrade materials, and we're so completely in sync. We're both so zeroed in together on this cooperative goal that it literally, maybe I said it first, you said it first, and we're so on board with each other that it just became this thing.
Yeah,
it's just like, because like, whatever you say, I'm on board.
Yeah,
we're just like in that wonderful space of like cooperative teamwork. We're positive. We're open. It's magic.
And then it hits a point where you're almost finishing each other's sentences, or like you'd see something and we'd both go, "Ooh, Gert," like at the same time, or something along those lines. We've got quite a number now, but Gert will always be up as one of my favorites.
Yeah, Gert is the bedrock of our relationship.
What is friendship without Gert?
But I think what's so cool is that. That's an example. It's a great example of like we don't even both need to be playing, right? There are so many good games out there now where obviously you are playing together and you're working together at the same time. But even when you're playing against each other, this is what I find fascinating. You'd think that playing against each other, let's say we're having an epic, Mario Kart battle because we love Mario Kart so much, and we definitely don't wish that it was Diddy Kong Racing, reborn. We definitely don't wish that. No, it's because we love kart. But even though we're playing against each other, you'd think, well, okay, maybe that's, we're actually competing. You're racing, I'm trying to beat you. We get to the next race, I'm still trying to beat you. We get to the third race, I'm still trying to beat you. I just can't beat you, But it's still that wonderful environment where we're still together. We're still on the same page. We're playing that same game, and it's still so positive, right?
Yeah.
You think, well, why don't you walk away from that and be like, we were just up against each other?
Yeah,
but it's still so good.
Yeah, it's interesting, like the competitive nature, but it's interesting. You don't get upset at the other person for beating you. Well, I mean, there are some people that do that take things way too seriously.
Do I like always losing to you and Jaden in Mario Kart? Look, no, I don't love it, but I love it.
You're still having fun. You're doing something together. Yeah. I guess it depends on how you've been brought up in terms of how you view competition.
Yes.
And how you view games.
Yeah.
Because I've always been someone who looks at games and just goes, it's a game.
Yeah.
Like if I lose, that's fine. I'll just play the game again, or I'll practice it more, or I'll get better.
Yeah.
Or I don't care because I'm with my friends.
Yeah.
You know, and that's literally all that matters at the end of the day, is that we're doing an activity together. So you were kind of talking about a lot of those things and the kind of psychology between what's happening in our mind in those moments, the matching and mirroring and all that sort of stuff. Why are video games better at that than other things? Because you can obviously match and mirror in the real world in a whole variety of different activities.
Yeah.
You could be playing a cooperative sport together in the real world. You could be on a date with someone at a restaurant. Why is playing games with other people more effective at creating that flow state that you were talking about?
Yeah. Well, that topic of flow state, that's one of the big ones, because games do create that. They create this state where the state of flow, when you're entirely focused and you're entirely absorbed by the thing you're doing. And when we're in that flow state, everything is sort of a little bit more, intense. You've got that unpredictable nature of games where you've got to be on the ball and you're expecting something different. You're so fully absorbed by that task. Like, imagine a great example is, like, if you're sitting there, let's say, I'll think back to 2 weeks ago when I was having that Halo session with my friends that I talked about. Now, these guys, very good at Halo, like very good.
They grew up with the Xbox.
It's funny as well because they're all doctors, right? So you'd think, they don't have much time for Halo, and they don't these days, but grew up with an Xbox, all of them, very good. I didn't grow up with an Xbox. I still played quite a bit of Halo. I think I'm good at Halo, but when we're playing, it's this beautiful, intense kind of gaming system where you have to be thinking about what you're doing. You can't be, if I look at my phone for 30 seconds and try and respond to a message, I'll be 15 points behind already. There's no coming back. So we're so focused, we're so in that moment. And when we are in that state of flow together, we sync up so much better because the shared emotions, that fun, that excitement or that terror or that anticipation, those emotional states are heightened and we just sync up so much better when we're in that state of flow. So as opposed to you and I are going for a walk around the block together, it's nice. And we're going to be in step probably, our heart rate and our breathing rhythms and, our cadence is going to be the same, but it's not that sort of same state of kind of like emotional intensity. Maybe you're telling me about your day and I'm like, oh, that's a lovely cumulonimbus formation up there. Maybe I've switched off.
Cumulonimbus formation, is that a cloud thing?
Yeah, it's a cloud thing.
Where does that come from? You know science about clouds.
Yeah, I've got hidden depths, James.
Wow.
Yeah.
It goes beyond games, people.
Yeah.
This guy knows his clouds.
Yeah, this guy knows his clouds.
But seriously, where did you learn that?
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised what I do. The good thing is when you still play a lot of old PS4 games, and when you're as bad as games as I am, and I die a lot, I got to wait for an hour. If I'm sort of sitting there playing, like the amount of time I've got to wait to reload, there's a lot. I got a lot of time to have like an interesting article on the side. I'm like, oh, I'm dead again. Guess I'll read about clouds for the next minute.
There you go. Yeah. For a second, I thought you were doing you were going to ignore the cloud question and you were veering back to video games. And I'm like, I see what you're doing. I see what you're trying to get out of this, but you brought it back around. I appreciate that. I respect that.
So that's a core part of it. And the second part of it that is really, really interesting, there's sort of a concept in psychology called theory of mind, which is the way that I look at it. I distill it down to, it's almost like a fancy word for empathy. But theory of mind is all about you trying to imagine and predict what another person is thinking. So you're trying to imagine, you're trying to think, okay, what is this person thinking now? How are they going to respond? And how is that going to inform my actions? So that theory of mind thing, you come up with that there's all different areas of life where you have to do that. In basically all social settings, we're doing that all the time. So I don't know, if I come over, let's say if I come over to your house and I say, hey James, how you doing? And you respond in a certain way, and I'm like, oh, okay, you don't seem really 100% happy, or you don't seem too happy to see me. I'm immediately going into this space where I'm trying to think, well, like, what's James thinking, and why is he thinking that way, and how am I then going to respond and react? And that's something that we learn in childhood, right? When we play games, theory of mind, like that is so important. So I want you to give me an example. Have a think about a game you're playing with someone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Have a think. Maybe it's a co-op game. Maybe it's a game you're playing against someone. When are you really trying to almost be in that other person's head?
I guess if you look at a competitive game,
Yep.
something like, even if it's not as intensely competitive as like a first-person shooter or something, but say you're playing something like Mario Kart.
Yep.
If you are trailing behind someone, like say you were ahead of me,
Mm.
you're holding on to a shell,
Yep.
trying to protect yourself.
Yep.
I'm like, okay, are you going to try and throw that back at me? Can I veer around you?
Yeah.
Or do I have enough items to throw something at you, get that shell out of the way so that I can wipe you out and take over?
Yep.
So I'm almost trying to think one step ahead in terms of what are you likely to do?
Yep.
And how can I use that to my advantage?
Yep.
To benefit me.
Yeah. Yeah, so cool. It's all about being in that other person's head and trying to imagine what they're doing that informs your actions. And even when I was thinking the other day when we were playing Cyberpunk, and there was sort of a particular moment when you're in sort of a fist fight, brawling kind of situation, trying to complete a quest, and I'm sort of sitting there. I'm not playing. I'm obviously rooting for you, but in my head, I'm thinking I'm almost dodging with you. I see the punch coming, and I start thinking, oh, is James going to dodge? You know, is he gonna dodge? Is he gonna counter? You know, is he gonna go on the offensive here? Is he gonna sit back? So I'm in that moment, and I'm trying to think, what are you thinking? And that's where games really build that. They put you in that theory of mind state, and so important, such an important thing to have, because when we are sitting there imagining what other people are thinking, that's, again, like I said, that's, for me, that's almost like what empathy is.
Yeah. And I guess it's also really cool because it would also sometimes show you ways of approaching things that you may not have necessarily anticipated.
Yeah.
Depending on the game, like your approach to something may have been completely different to your friends.
Yep.
And you go, wow, I didn't realize that you could do that. Or yeah, that's something that I wouldn't have even considered doing.
Yeah.
How cool.
Yeah. And such an important skill. Think about all the areas in your life where that is important. Relationships, social bonding, communication, conflict resolution. So many areas where, the more that you can sort of really try and imagine what other people are thinking and tailor your actions to suit that, so important. Yeah. And games, such a good hunting ground for that because of their intensity and in being in that flow state. So cool. And when we think back to when we were kids and the amount of time that we spent couch gaming, just think how much time that we're in that state. All the games that you've mentioned, you've talked about, where we're in that space where we're sharing what we're doing, we're in the same kind of, body language, we're mirroring, we're matching, we're thinking what other people are thinking. Like, that is like such an important social skill, right? And I don't know, what would you say? Do you think you got pretty good social skills, James?
I mean, we are recording a podcast right now. I'd like to think so.
Yeah.
No, I do. It's like, no, we're super sad and lonely.
That's why we're sitting here recording.
Please, someone listen to us. No, I do. I do think that my ability to connect with other people has always been one of my strengths.
Yes, for sure.
To connect and socialize and empathize in particular with other people. And I
would agree. I would agree.
And I would say the same for you.
Thank you. Yeah. Even though you beat me all the time at Mario Kart,
it's all right.
You're still a good man.
But that's it. You didn't have the Nintendo. I have more practice.
Yeah.
It often comes down to practice.
You see that? Great theory of mine. You're thinking, look, Amrith might be feeling a bit bad. I'll say something that makes him feel better. And it worked. I feel good.
Yeah. Mission accomplished. But talking about how good this stuff is, obviously, it does get harder as we age, not just because you become an adult and you have time pressures and adult commitments, whether that is university, whether that is a full-time job, whether that's, any number of things, getting married, having kids, whatever, you don't have as much time to dedicate to sitting and playing games as you did when you were a kid.
Unfortunately not.
Would be nice.
Yeah.
Would be nice. But I think as well, one of the major shifts has been the move to online gaming.
Yeah.
There were so many games, especially first-person shooter games. Like look back at like GoldenEye.
Yeah.
On the 64. That was 4-player split screen.
Yeah.
Whereas now most first-person shooters like your CODs and stuff, a lot of them, well, actually, I don't really play a lot of first-person shooters, but I know there are some now that don't provide couch co-op anymore.
Yeah.
You play online with someone.
Yeah.
And it's like, that to me is really sad that we've lost that ability to have that human connection.
Yeah.
Like, you've literally just talked about all the benefits of doing that when you are playing online.
Yep.
Now, there obviously are a lot of benefits for playing online as well.
Yeah.
Like, take a game like Fortnite. Again, that's one that you can't really do couch co-op with split screen as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, not as common anyway.
So yeah, even if you are capable of doing it, it's probably not as common. Vast majority of people are playing with their friends at home.
Yeah.
So it'd be like, oh, you jumping on Fortnite tonight after school? Yeah, man, I'll see you there. Yeah,
I'll be there.
Yeah. I'll wear my fish skin or whatever.
Yeah, I'm sorry if you play Fortnite
With the fish skin.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, there's nothing wrong with Fortnite. I just mean it. You and I both worked in schools in an education setting for a number of years as a casual job while we were at university. And that was at like the height of Fortnite's rise in popularity.
Oh, yes.
And so that's why I guess I associate Fortnite with school kids predominantly, because that's literally all they were playing.
Yeah, I genuinely played Fortnite twice, and the only 2 times I played it was because I was like, how do I reach these kids?
Dude, same as me. I downloaded it and I played it, and I had that like Skinner moment from The Simpsons where it was like, is it me? It's like, no, it's the children that are wrong. But admittedly, I only gave it like a few chances, and if I had played it longer, I'm sure I probably would have gotten into it more. But again, it's just not my kind of vibe in terms of that type of online multiplayer. But going back to what we were talking about, a lot of kids now will be playing with their friends, but their friends are at their home as well online. And so they've got a headphone on, they've got their headset on, which is incredible that we live in a world where that is a possibility.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't have even been able to fathom that as a kid. And it would have been so cool, because if your friend had to go home and it was like, I don't want them to go home, they'd be like, it's cool, man, I'll jump on and we can play again.
Yeah.
And like, huge. Yeah. It's just an additional outlet. And for people that maybe live really far away from friends, like they live in rural towns, or maybe they have a disability that makes it difficult for them to get around. Like, there's a whole number of reasons why online is an incredible move forward.
Yes.
But for me, it feels like a little bit of that magic is lost.
Yeah. And it's interesting. It's because it's such a positive thing, but we're sort of saying that it's almost that couch gaming has suffered just because more options have become available.
Totally.
Not that couch gaming has become less viable, and not that there's necessarily less couch games out there. I mean, there were couch games were almost brought back in a real visceral sense with the Nintendo Switch, right?
Yeah, Switch obviously made things very easy in terms of you having a home console that was almost like a Game Boy in terms of portability.
Yeah.
You could take it to a friend's house. You could easily, like if they had one as well, boom, you've got a ton of controllers. A lot of the games you can connect. If one of you has the game cartridge and the other person doesn't, you can still play that game together.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think in terms of portability, Switch was a huge step forward in terms of that. Yeah.
But it's cool as well because there's so much more has become available. And we've been talking about, AAA games like Cyberpunk, these massive open world games that are single player. And I think there's almost been a sense that with this rise in these really big single player games that you can sink hundreds of hours into very happily, it maybe encourages more people to play them on their own because it is a solo game at the end of the day. But so much what we talked about is that, there's so many benefits to playing that solo game in the same space with somebody. But I think it's just by having that extra option there, maybe more people have gone away and maybe we've lost a bit of that focus on why, couch games are so good and why playing games together with someone are so good. And I think that's what we're trying to bring that focus back to, I think.
Yeah. There's something magical about it. Like I was just thinking, like when we were kids, trying to organize a catch up with a friend, like going and asking your parents, being like, Mum, Dad, like, is it okay if Amrith comes around and like plays games and stays for dinner?
Amrith. Why?
My parents love you.
Yeah.
But it was, one of those things that was very easy to organized then.
Yes.
And it would be like, oh, yeah, is it cool if they come over and then they come play and blah, blah, blah. Something about doing that. There was something magical about having a friend come to your house. You're sitting on the same couch. You're sharing the same snacks. You're having that moment. And so I think bring it back.
Bring it back
where we can.
Yeah.
Bring it back.
Yeah.
Like I know a lot of these multiplayer games now are very much targeting younger audiences in the terms of not necessarily younger audiences, but they're introducing these kind of gambling mechanics in terms of loot boxes, buy this new skin, buy this new whatever.
Yep.
And so I think a lot of executives and shareholders are like, make the next big battle royale game, make the next big blah, blah, blah game that we can sell skins and sell content on indefinitely. Everyone's chasing Fortnite to be the next big thing. And so I feel like there's more of an impetus on trying to create games like that than creating games like Split Fiction or an It Takes Two, which are very much like, here is a story that you are playing cooperatively.
Yeah.
Which is so nice and such a breath of fresh air in that couch gaming landscape. And it's like, I would love to see more of that.
Yeah.
As you said, it's not to say that there aren't couch co-op games that you can play, and you can still co-op a single player game like we've done with The Witcher, Horizon, Cyberpunk, etc. But yeah, bring it back. It's fun as hell. Like, it's the best.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. And look, maybe you can't bring it back in the exact same format that you did when you were a kid. You know, like are we really able to stay up till 5 a.m, you know, playing for 12 hours straight? Are we able to do that every weekend? Look, no, maybe not. But we can still keep doing it like we do.
Yeah,
like we do. And that's it's that there's a great quote from Brock in God of War, where he talks about how it's the nature of something that matters, not its form. And so it's the nature of playing games together with your friends that is so good. We've talked about how good it is and like how much it can do for you socially. Like, talk about a way to level up. Like, you want to be a better friend, you want to be a better partner, you want to have better social skills. Yeah, play more games. Play more games together with people. That's how you do it. You know, if you maybe playing a game together with your partner, maybe that could be one of the best things to do in your relationship. Maybe you're the gamer and your partner isn't. Or vice versa. Like, play together, and what a beautiful kind of like shared experience to have to kind of build your own social understanding of each other.
Yeah.
Or maybe neither of you play games, or you both play games. Do it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good for you.
And again, it's one of those opportunities to have deeper conversations, not necessarily about gaming, but as you said, building friendships, whatever.
Yeah.
It is, unfortunately, for a lot of men, difficult to open up to your friends. But if you're doing a shared activity together, it's a really great way to branch out and have those more difficult conversations that would be harder to have
100%
if you were just hanging out at a cafe or playing a sport together. And
that's the thing. And maybe it would take heaps of time, but you know, if you're sitting together with your friend and you're constantly in that state where you're kind of of the same mind and you're matching and you're mirroring, right? You will just naturally, over time, you will build that understanding of each other. You will build the social skills and the empathy that, you know, you'll be able to have those conversations.
Hell yeah.
It might not happen immediately, but it will. So yeah, make it your mission. Lock in some in-person game time with anyone.
Yeah, do it.
Go find a random guy in the street and be like, we're playing Halo right now.
You like games? What are your thoughts on Diddy Kong Racing?
And is it a yes to Diddy Kong Racing being good? I hope so.
Then you're in.
Yeah.
I think that's a good place to call it for this week.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll see you next Friday to play some Cyberpunk.
You will. And I've loved this episode because for me it's been like an ode to our friendship. I think we've got a great connection, and I think so much of that is because of the times that we spent playing games together. And doing this felt like a bit of an appreciation, and you know, if we can do it, I hope everyone else can too.
Thanks, mate. I love it. I love you.
I love you too.
Thank you. And thank you everyone for listening. We really appreciate it. As always, jump on the socials. We'll leave a link, as Amrit said, to all of those studies that we talked about in the show notes. We are branching out and looking at different ways for us to connect with our listeners. That stuff, if it has happened, will be in the show notes. If not, keep your ears open and we will let you know about it shortly. But go forth, play games together, be happy.
Enjoy.